Alright, Jordan here, Dad Smart Pro again. Video number 2 on flushing the hot water heater. So, we taught you everything in video number 1 about how to be safe and turn off the water and the gas and to get air in the system to get the water out and to start the flow of emptying your tank. Now that we got the tank empty, what we want to show you next is how to get a lot of that sediment that's still down in there out. A lot of different ways to do it, but the easiest way is to just turn the water supply back on and force water down into the tank to kind of break it up and to get some of that more of that junk out of your tank. Another way to do it is to pull the anode rod out. First of all, to inspect it and make sure it's not bad and see if you need to replace it. But also, if you get that out, you can get a small nozzle, and get a hose down in there and kind of just swish it around and kind of get some of that crap from the sides off, and also help break it up down at the bottom to kind of get some of those chunks out. Again, like I said, you're going to want to do this at least twice a year, depending on where you live and how hard your water is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pump some of this water down into the tank. And then kind of let it stir up. And as you do that, you'll notice that you're going to get a lot more chunks out. So if you look right here, look at how some of this stuff is just coming out. You can already see some of these chunks right here. So, let me kind of just show you, see what we got so far coming out of here. I mean, look at some of this stuff already, just pouring out. So you already can see more stuff coming out. So that is definitely helping. That helps stir that water up. Again, like I said, I'm going to make another video of changing out the end down here to more of a straight through valve, so that it allows more water and more sediment through, so you can clean your tank out a little bit better. So stay tuned for another video on that. But again, like I said, open up the water inlet and just kind of flush it. You may want to do this a couple times. At least for me, I know that it's not enough to just flush it once. I do it about 2 or 3 times, sometimes 4 times, just to make sure I'm getting a lot of that sediment out of the bottom of my tank. So as you can see, the water flow is kind of slowed down a little bit. So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to come over here, turn this off. Okay, I'm going to close my valve down here. Then I'm going to open it back up. What that does is kind of helps the flow of water back down your hose. So what happens sometimes is it gets clogged up at the valve. Another reason why to change that valve out to more of a straight through one, so you can get more volume, more water, more sediment out. But we're going to let that drain a little bit more now that the tank's filled up a little bit. Once that's drained and emptied, I'm going to pump that water back down at the bottom of the tank again to break some of that sediment up. If you don't want to change the valve, that's totally fine. Just keep doing what I'm doing here and injecting more water into the tank and breaking some of that stuff up, and do about 3 or 4 flushes, and just keep doing it that way. Try and keep track of as much sediment as you get out, so that you know how much sediment you're pulling out of your tank. Again, like I said, keep this open to let air flow through. When you're done with this, and I'll also include this step in the next video or 2, but just in case you don't get beyond this video, let's say you're done draining your tank and you want to be done, and tie it back up. So you'll twist the screw all the way back in, tighten it up to stop the water flow, and then you'll want to make sure that you take this little guy right here. I'll just kind of give you a close-up here. You want to take this guy right here and close it back so that you reseal that that connection on the inside, because otherwise you'll just get water pouring out the end of this and you don't want to flood your basement, right? So make sure that you close this when you're done. And when you're done and when you close it, take the end of your screwdriver and give it 1 or 2 small little taps to make sure that that O-ring seats properly when this is closed, because they can, you know, they can leak over time. So again, if you're done, turn this back off, give it a couple taps, make sure it's nice and sealed. Make sure that down there is screwed all the way in tight. You want to restart your pilot by pressing and holding it in and then doing the igniter to get it back up and running and ignited. And then last but not least, turn your water flow back on. So if you're interested in staying tuned for more videos on cleaning out the tank and then also changing out the valve to a newer valve to allow more volume, stay tuned for the next video. I'll also make another video on how to change out your anode rod, so stay tuned for that as well. So again, thanks for watching. Dad Smart Pro, Jordan here. Please like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks. Bye.